Yes, I'm filming this on my webcam, and no, I don't care. Hey guys, I'm Random here, welcome back to my channel, where today, as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about The Umbrella Academy, aka my new obsession that has filled a Stranger Things shaped hole in my heart. So I'm very grateful to the show for doing that. So I was going to do like one of my normal good quality stud like in this area kind of videos, but my last video didn't really do that well. My one about my favorite YouTubers, I'm putting that down to the fact that it was too long, I think, but again, I'm trying not to let it feed into my guilt complex surrounding YouTube that I'm going through at the moment, which is very much based around, like, what's the point? You don't have many views or many subscribers who engage with your content. Like, you've been doing this for so long, you should be bigger by now. But that's a whole other rant for another time. But today, let's focus on the topic at hand, which, like I say, is the Umbrella Academy. So first of all, shout out to my friend Lisa, who was actually the person who recommended that I watch this show. So very grateful to you for the recommendation because, like I say, it is my new obsession. And otherwise, I wouldn't have binged both seasons in the span of about 4 days, which I don't think I've ever actually done before. So yeah, like I say, very grateful for the recommendation. And as you could probably tell, or if you didn't, then I have to put this disclaimer out there for those of you who didn't already twig, but this video will contain spoilers for the Umbrella Academy. It is just going to be word vomit, so I'm not going to be careful about spoilers or whatever. Like, I just want to just geek out, basically. So yeah, this video does contain spoilers. If you haven't seen both seasons of the Umbrella Academy, don't watch this video, because you will get it spoiled. So you can't say I didn't warn you. And without any further ado, let's get on to just the discussion and the fangirling and the word vomit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So basically, I'm just going to be discussing like random points about the show that I enjoyed. This isn't going to be as in-depth of a review as my Stranger Things Season 3 review, if you guys have watched that, just because I am a very, very, very recent fan of this show, and like I say, I binge-watched both seasons in like 4 days, so this is literally just going to be me just picking out bits of the show that I enjoyed, or like specific performances or things like that. So this is like I say, this is just going to be a fangirling discussion word vomit type video. So yeah, that's what this is. I don't know why I'm explaining myself. Let's just get on with the discussion. Oh my gosh, right. So the first thing that kind of stuck out to me, and the first thing I want to get off, like right off the bat, is Aidan Gallagher, the guy who plays Five. How incredibly good of an actor he is for like 16. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was like maybe 14 when they first started filming. Now he's 16, almost 17, but he is just perfect for Five. Like, the amount of just like sarcasm and wit is just razor sharp and just, in my opinion, perfect for this character, and he just blows my mind. Like, honestly, that guy is incredible, and Five is one of my favourite characters. And another one of my favourite characters is Klaus, so therefore I'm taking a moment to mention Klaus and Ben's kind of relationship that they have, that it's comedy gold. I am so sad that like the original Ben is now dead. He walked to the light. I mean, he was already dead, obviously, but you know, now he's sort of passed on. He walked towards the light, and that, I mean, to be honest, that scene in season 2 was just beautiful. Really, really, really touching. I mean, I'm not someone who like cries at stuff, so I'm not saying it was like a tearjerker, although it might be for someone else, but yeah, definitely very, very well done. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Ben's character in season 3, with obviously the Sparrow Academy. I'm just going to take this moment to appreciate the ending of season 2. Like, what? My brain was blown, like my mind was blown, as I'm sure all of us were when we watched that final episode. I was like, you what? I mean, to be fair, I don't actually blame Reginald that much for creating the Sparrow Academy, because, I mean, obviously, because they messed up the timeline so much in season 2, obviously, the original Umbrella Academy kids actually met Reginald before the whole 1989 superhero kid birth phenomena happened. So he obviously made the effort to divert away from those kids because he'd already met them and obviously didn't like them that much. So I think that's partially why the Sparrow Academy was formed, and that's just the first thing that came to my head. But I can't wait for season 3. It's going to be so incredible. Another thing that I'm hoping to happen in season 3, by the way, can we get Allison and Luther to just get back together, please? Thank you, because that was one thing that made me very angry when I watched season 1, is the scene, obviously, when they dance, and then they kiss, and then 5 goes back in time again and screws the whole thing up, and I'm like, excuse me, it was perfect before, why would you change it? So I was very angry at 5 at that moment. So yeah, that was just something I wanted to point out. Luther and Allison better get together in season 3. They better do it. I wasn't too mad actually in season 2 about Allison getting married. I was at the beginning, and then I grew to kind of accept it and kind of love it at the same time. I think her marriage in the 60s worked pretty well. You know, obviously she was very, very much active in the racism issues in the 60s, which I think they covered very, very, very nicely in season 2. That whole issue at the time, and obviously parts of which still exist in today. Black Lives Matter. But in terms of covering it in the 60s time period, I think they did a very, very good job in that, so I just wanted to point that out as well while we were on the topic of Allison. But yeah, season 3, like I say, Allison and Luther need to get back together. Thank you, Netflix. Also, something about season 2 that I just wanted to sort of slip in there. Reginald is a Slovene. My Doctor Who fans out there know exactly what I mean. That's the first thing that I thought when he when he took his face off and was an alien underneath. I'm like, they're having a Doctor Who Umbrella Academy crossover. This guy's a Slovene. Like, what the heck's going on? Obviously, it's not a direct reference, but it's just kind of like an indirect thing because similar technique. Those who get it. I should not be explaining myself so much, but yeah, that's just the first thing that came to my head. Oh, something I actually discovered is that because I actually discovered that this series was based on a graphic novel. I didn't know that until I started to research it after I started watching it, which was interesting. But then again, a fact that I realized, but then also another fact that I came across was that those who are the fans of the graphic novels would already know that Reginald's an alien, apparently quite early on, which was like, oh, okay, so it's not as much of a surprise as it was kind of meant to be. I suppose for me it was, because I wasn't a fan of the graphic novels, but for those who were, I suppose it'd be like, oh right, so they finally got to this bit, that's great. So but yeah, it was still, I suppose it was nice for me as somebody who wasn't a fan of the graphic novels to be surprised like that, because it adds a bit more excitement to the series, I suppose. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to mention that I explained way too much, which is the theme, because I ramble a lot. But I said this was going to be a word vomity type video, so this is what you came for, apparently, or this is what you signed up for, so you're welcome. Let's carry on. Another major thing I want to mention about this show is the use of music. Oh my gosh. Whoever chooses the music for this and allocates it to scenes is an absolute genius. 2 moments that I want to mention, both in season 2. The fact that we had a fight scene to Everybody by the Backstreet Boys, and then the other moment is when 5 is fighting with his older self, and they're doing that thing where they're just time jumping around Luther, and the song is Dancing With Myself. I'm just like, yes, I died. I died. It was great. Something I have seen discussed quite a bit on when I've watched videos about the Umbrella Academy, interviews and stuff like that, is how people mention how strong the kids are. considering how much abuse they went through in their childhood, and yet they still managed to, you know, live their lives after all that. Like, they are, and it's like, it's a very, very valid point, because they are very broken people, especially since all the, like, abuse and, like, the specific events of abuse that are shown from their childhood, like, especially with Vanya, I think is the most prominent character that we see being abused, obviously, because she had her emotions numbed and stuff, and I'm like, depersonalization, I can relate, but that's obviously, it's not quite the same, because she was medicated to feel that way. And also, while we're on the topic of Vanya, what an incredible character she is. I mean, I know in season 1, I suppose she is supposed to be quite a flat character, like, that's the whole point. Like, she's very depressed, she's very sort of numbed, not very expressive, and obviously that changes a little bit in season 2, but I am really, really enjoying her arc. Like, I think she's a very interesting character, because obviously, like I say, the whole point is that she was, especially in season 1, that she was supposed to be emotionally numbed, so therefore she doesn't really do a lot in, but the way that they took that and still gave her a storyline, I don't know if I'm making so much sense, but yeah, the way that they still took a character and gave her a storyline was just excellently done, in my opinion. And I think out of all the characters, I'm looking forward to see her development the most in season 3, compared to the other characters. Obviously, with Ben, I've already mentioned, like, how they're gonna do, like, the new emo version of Ben, which I've seen a lot of people say, the fact that he has, like, the new, like, emo haircut, which I agree with. He looks like an emo, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to in season 3. But yeah, I'm sidetracked. I'm going on so many tangents here. I don't really know. This is the thing when I just sit down and tell myself to make a video. It just, like, word vomit with no real stream of consciousness, you know, with no real sort of direct train of thought. We keep derailing and going off tangents, but yeah. I will tell you one thing I was very glad about when I was watching season 1 is the fact that 5 gave up the mannequin. I thought it was a bit odd that he was, like, basically in love with the mannequin. I'm pretty sure that's what everyone else thought as well. It was like, what the heck you doing? You're supposed to be the intelligent one, what are you doing? I suppose that's partially the sort of insanity that he gained for being alone in the apocalypse for 45 years. But yeah, I definitely grew to like 5 a bit more in season 2. In season 1, I definitely liked him and was like one of my favourite characters, because again, Aidan Gallagher's performance. But at the same time, in season 2, I was like, okay, he's not in love with the mannequin, it's fine. We can accept him a bit more. Also, something I do want to mention about season 2, I'm actually quite disappointed that they didn't include more of Hazel and Cha-Cha. Like, I very much enjoyed them in season 1, and the fact that Cha-Cha got, I think, killed at the end of season 1 with the big, like, fire apocalypse, you know, when that whole thing came. I'm pretty sure she got burned. And obviously with Hazel, I mean, to be fair, he did seem to have lived quite a peaceful life, with, what was the waitress's name? I can't remember, like, small characters, I can never remember the names of these, like, small characters. I can't remember the name, but the waitress that he ran off with, her, yeah, he seemed to have quite a happy life with her, which I thought was sweet, obviously, but you know, how much I loved their dynamic in season 1, over the fact we didn't really get that in season 2. I mean, I suppose it wasn't very necessary, because we still got more of the council, which I'm gonna get into, but yeah, I definitely missed them in season 2. I could have done with a bit of their action in season 2. But anyway, that's just another tangent. But yeah, like I say, going on to the council, that scene where Five kills the council, I mean, he's just a badass character anyway. Again, Aiden Gallagher, wow. The scene where he goes and like kills the council, I think, is one of the most badass scenes we've seen of him so far. Like the fact that he just, I mean, obviously he says like all this killing, like he gets no joy out of it, which obviously proves that he's still a human on the inside and not a psycho. But well, in some ways, but. Yeah, I mean, all of his scenes pretty much are badass, but that one just, like, stuck out to me. And also, talking about the council, the fact we had a talking fish. That fish that had just been in season 1, apparently in the office. I mean, I didn't actually notice the fish when I was watching season 2. I was talking to Lisa about it and was like, hang on, since when do we have a talking fish? And she was like, that fish was in the handler's office the whole time, you know that? And I was like, no, I didn't know she had a fish. I just thought it was just random fish, just all of a sudden the boss, you know, I had no idea. But that was funny, definitely. I mean, especially now that I knew that fish was always there, the fact that her pet fish has now become her boss is just like, it added to the amusement of the scene for me. But yeah, I mean, obviously the handler deserved to die. She was a bitch. I really enjoyed her dynamic with Five as well, like, that whole thing. I mean, to be fair, I loved everything about the show. Like, I'm just trying to pick out points when really I just want to say I love the whole thing. So yeah, just every single character dynamic and relationship in this show was done so brilliantly. Let's just put that out there. I love this show so much. I love this show so much. Here's an interesting point. In season 2, with Vanya and Sissy, I think is her name, that was interesting for me because obviously, if you guys don't already know, Ellen Page, the actor who plays Vanya, is a lesbian. She's gay, so it was one of those things where obviously in season 1 she has a straight relationship, and then she goes from that with a serial killer. Let's just point that out. Well, actually no, he's not actually a serial killer. He's just a murderer, but still equally as bad. So she goes from that to the affair with Sissy in season 2, I thought was very refreshing. It's like, finally she can play her true sexuality. She doesn't have to fake being straight. I don't know whether that's, you know, just something that I find interesting, but yeah, I very much enjoyed the way that they told that story. Being gay in the South of America in the 60s, not a thing you want to be doing, like, proudly at the time. You know, obviously it was very much frowned upon and still considered a mental illness until the 70s, I think. So the fact that they were able to tell that so well, again, was brilliant in my opinion. Again, I just loved everything about this entire show, both seasons. I can't wait for season 3. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about apart from just being like, I love the whole thing, but I don't think I can. So I'm gonna end this video now because it's already been like 20 minutes and I need to edit this down somewhat. So yeah, this was a very casual video. I know, not the one that I was necessarily expecting to make. Again, I'm struggling a lot with my YouTube and like my attitude towards my YouTube channel at the moment. I was very much deliberating as to just whether to just sort of take a break until I go back to university, which I am gonna do. Actually, I've just decided now that I'm gonna take a break until I go back to university. I go back on the 10th of September, but I don't actually start lectures until the 28th of September, so I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, like, doing nothing in Bolton, but I have quite a few ideas for videos to do when I'm back in Bolton, so that'll at least provide some inspiration and some motivation for me, because right now I just need to get my head straight, and obviously going to Bolton will definitely help with that, but right now I just don't have the right mindset and attitude to be making YouTube videos to the same quality that I was, like, say, this time last year. So yeah, do bear with me. For those few people who do watch my videos, do bear with me. It's a struggle. It has been a struggle, as I elaborated in my mental health video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. It was nice just to geek out about a show that, like I say, is my new obsession that's filled a very large Stranger Things shaped hole in my heart. Considering we're gonna have to wait till 2022 for Stranger Things season 4, because obviously COVID interrupting filming, so we're going to be waiting for a long time for that. So hopefully the Umbrella Academy can fill that hole until we have more Hawkins content. But yeah, like I say, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of my videos. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Snapchat, names which will be, as always, at the end of this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.